Well, hello there. If you've seen the last Minecraft snapshots, you probably have noticed that there will be cherry blossom trees in Minecraft 1.20. And honestly, they do look pretty nice. But as always, trees can be made even nicer than the vanilla ones by making them ourselves. And today I'm gonna try to show you a little bit how I would build some custom cherry blossom trees. As always with these videos, of course, I can only tell you to put the sapling onto the ground because, of course, they can be used as little tweaks or literal saplings. They can be placed down and, of course, used as little trees in their first stage of growing. You, of course, need a string or another block on top so that the tree doesn't grow. Moving on to the next stage, which is a tiny little tree, a little bush. For Minecraft standards, this is pretty small and pretty simple, so we only have fence blocks to act as the stem and then a couple of leaf blocks. It's a little bit of a struggle to find a fitting fence post for this tree because the color is a little, well, it's kind of a little red and a little bit, I don't know, pink, violet, purple. It has a little tint of a certain color, and having a nice color that fits it isn't that easy. The dark oak is too brown, the crimson wood is just too purple, but I think the nether brick fence, for example, is, well, at least kinda close. It's not a perfect match, but we can work with that. So yeah, we have a nether brick fence here as the log of the little tree. And of course you need to kind of spread the leaves around because, well, you don't want it to just be a stiff little symmetrical tree. Even though it can look proper, I guess, it most of the time just looks a little uncreative. So I can only recommend to, well, spread them around and randomize it a little bit. Maybe have everything lean over to one side a little bit like I've done it here and leave gaps. But you can of course build them as you want and vary them if you need more than just one. In the third stage we have a little bit of a bigger tree. Now we even have a nether brick wall on the bottom to act as a bigger trunk. Sadly, those two don't connect, so we can't really put them like this to make the branches, but if we do it like this, it works just fine. So we only have one on the bottom and then a lot of leaves and twigs on the top. As you can see, I have left a couple of gaps here as well, just so that you can actually see all of those branches, because you kind of really want that. Otherwise, it's gonna look like just a filled ball of leaves, and in some cases it can fit, but most of the time it looks artificial. So like this, it does look a little bit more natural. Try to spread it around, make it a little more randomized and not very symmetrical, and then you have a good looking little tree. Then the second to last stage here is even bigger. Now we even have some cherry wood. I prefer to use the wood type, which has bark on all the sides, rather than the log types where it is only around it and has open parts. Here we can even use some stairs and slabs and other stuff like that. Usually I also use trapdoors, but with the nether bricks we don't have those available, because they don't exist of course. And yeah, we can use all of that to thicken out the trunk and add a little bit of detail. We can also make some spots like this where branches used to be. In this case, I think the crimson button fits quite nicely, but you can try around and add whatever you want. And of course, the branches reach out quite a bit and have quite a bit more, well, coverage. They go further and more upwards, and also they're a little bit more separated from each other. So they just simply, well, go around and make everything a little puffier. Of course, we have gaps everywhere again and very puffy air-filled leaves. And that makes a nice little tree. Moving on to the very last stage that I've prepared, which in my opinion should be the normal largest size of those trees, because cherry blossoms, as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they don't get too large, so we don't really want them to be enormous trees, so the progression is not very steep. But as you can see, it is a little more flat on the top and a little wider than high. We have the same principle again as on the other one, with the walls, the stairs and all of that. Also a couple of blocks in the ground as roots. What I like to do as well is to kind of make the trees wind a little bit. They shouldn't be very straight and just sticking up right in the ground. They can be a little angled and a little twisted, which just makes them more natural and organic, you know? So you can add a couple of things of those. You can of course also make thick branches like these here by, for example, making the log part quite a bit higher and make the branches on the bottom of them at least very thick and then thin them out a little bit. And of course, once they go outwards, they get thinner and have their leaves. I also liked to build this a little lopsided and growing downwards on this side, because I think they do look pretty nice if they have leaves that go downwards on one side, because then you kind of just have more leaves on the player level, the eye level, and you can kind of see it better. But yeah, I believe those do look pretty nice, and you can download them from a link down below in the description. I will put them in a Google Drive folder, every single one of them separated, so that you can add them by yourself in the world and copy them block for block, or see how I did it very specifically. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, I hope this helped a little bit, subscribe if it did, and I hope we can see each other in the next one. So bye bye for now, and see you then.